You're going to have your day brightened up? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Hashtag Positivity Podcast.
Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into the podcast. Yes, I could hear that, John. Thanks for joining us for what will be the last episode before Christmas.
It's crazy, man. Welcome back. Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
Donnie, so good to see you, man.
Glad to be here.
Not that I didn't see you all day today.
Don, how you doing?
Doing great.
Awesome.
You know what's crazy is I don't know exactly when you and I started doing these together, but I think we're on number 9, maybe.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Is it number 9?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. But I was thinking on the way over here today how quickly it's gone by, and you know how much fun it is for us to do these, how enjoyable it is, and we continue to get such positive feedback from folks. I've been running into people at the store
All over the place, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's been really, really awesome. So again, I know that you know you and I say it to people every week, but we're so grateful.
Yeah, really appreciate everybody who takes the time to either listen or watch every week. It's not easy to find 30 or 40 minutes of time to dedicate to something like this.
It's just real humbling, I think, for me. You know, I know we've all talked a lot about sort of our careers and what we've chosen to do for a living. And I've spent my whole adult life in one way or another trying to give back to people in some way. But when you hear from people that you've never met or you least expect it, I don't care what scale it's on. We know what scale it's headed for.
Right.
It's just really humbling, and I'm always so appreciative of the feedback. I really am.
Yeah, I agree. I'm 100% on board with that. It's awesome running into people. I think I sent you a text a week or two ago. Hey, ran into somebody.
So cool, yeah.
Somebody approached me at the coffee shop who saw the hoodie and put the pieces together and was like, hey, I watched the podcast. You're the guy. You do it with John. I know John. Just really cool connections to be made.
We were took my kids up this weekend to a real good friend's house whose family happened to be in town, and there was another friend there of the woman that came to travel. They're from out near the Cape, and we had just finished dinner. We're just all talking, and this woman who I've never met before at this holiday party, she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, I never, ever miss an episode of your and Jason's, and then actually Donnie, too."
That's awesome.
It was really cool. She's like, I never miss a week.
Cool.
She said, I love it. It helps put all of the craziness that's going on in my life and all of the stuff that we all have to balance. She said it helps put everything in perspective. I really, really enjoy listening to it. She said, I tell all my friends at work about it, and so it was pretty cool, you know?
Cool. Yeah, we really appreciate that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
You guys ready for Christmas?
Yeah. Again,
a couple days away.
That's another one of those things that I think has snuck up on us really quickly. I know that you had a chance to see your family not too long ago for Thanksgiving. You know, they came in from Florida, which I know was a great blessing for you.
Yeah, it was really nice to see them.
Yeah. Now, will you or will you not see them again, bud?
I will see them again, but I won't see them on Christmas.
Not for Christmas, right? Yeah. That was your subtle but not so subtle, smart-ass, condescending comment.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
You understood what I was putting
Well,
down.
so did you when I asked the question. So
yes.
I didn't know that response was necessary, but hey, that's okay. We
got to have fun. That's how we love.
Yeah, we do. How you doing, Donnie?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Good.
So if you don't mind, I wanted to take a few minutes today, guys, because as you guys know, I've talked to you a lot about this when we've been, sort of off air. I love Christmas and I love the holiday season, but I really, and I don't know if this comes from my upbringing or as a father now, what I'm trying to sort of impart upon my kids, but one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about today is the holiday season for us. We're really fortunate. We can count on the things that most of us societally associate with the holidays, right? Fellowship, maybe church for some people, presents under the tree for the little ones, our own gifts from family and friends, a great meal or several throughout the holiday week. And for me, I don't know about you guys, how much time you spend thinking about this, but knowing you two, probably a considerable amount. For me, I am really working to balance all of the things that I'm so fortunate enough to have with a really pressing thought that doesn't leave me around all the people that don't have the things that I just shared with you guys.
Right.
We talk, when we talk about Christmas, again, the meal, the gifts, the fireplace, the warm house, or family's house, wherever we gather. And there's just so many people out there, and not just off in foreign lands or in cities we've never heard of, but right around the corner that aren't going to have that.
Yeah. Not everybody's as fortunate as us, and there are some people in really tough spots. Yeah. Can't help but have them in our minds and our hearts.
Yeah, and I think for me, this notion of, instead of just thinking it, right, let's think and then act. So I just want to, share just some food for thought with everybody that's listening, and maybe you do as well, but around some of the little things that we can do to change the holiday season for some people who otherwise may not have one, who for them Christmas Day or the Hanukkah season or, whatever they celebrate this time of year will be just like any other day, and really they're going to fight to just get through it. So some things that people, I think, maybe talking for a few minutes about some things that people can get involved with that
Sure.
may help lift the spirits and change the lives of some other people, I'd really like to kind of share and discuss.
Absolutely. So I know that you mentioned earlier you have some plans for yourself and your children. What do you got in mind for that?
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm going to do, and that I want to get my kids involved with doing, is we were having a conversation the other day about presents and stuff, and they're kids, right? And so I want them to enjoy the holidays, and I want them to have an unbelievable experience. We work hard for that as a family. So I want to provide them with that. But at the same time, I don't want them to lose sight of the fact that there are people out there that don't have that, kids their age. And so one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to take them to our local rescue mission, because I want them to see, and I want them to learn, and I want them to be able to put themselves in the shoes of people that don't have anything.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, have you done anything like that with them before?
I've done it. I've done it myself throughout my life, but I've never done that with them.
So it'll be a first time exposure to that.
Yeah,
for them.
for sure. And we talked to them a little bit about that at home as well. In the rescue missions near us, what I've learned throughout this process is to actually go down and volunteer on your own. You have to be 18 years old, but I can bring them down to meet with the folks that work and run the rescue mission. They have several different programs. They serve meals in-house. But one of the things that I'm going to work to do and to fit in, to make a priority, is they have mobile meals where they drive around the city and they identify those that are living on the streets and provide them with a meal, not just for Christmas, but throughout the year.
Throughout the year.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing I'm going to do with my kids. But there's a lot of other things that folks can do as well.
Absolutely.
And so a few suggestions. But I also think that the best gifts that we can give to other people come from our heart and our own mind. And so I guess the biggest challenge I would have for everybody this week, as we look at this season, the Christmas season, or the holiday season, if you will, is what can you do? What moves you to do something for someone that is going to lift their spirits or change their day a little bit? And so there's a lot of different things that people can do. One is to donate your time, right?
Yep.
Whether it's at a homeless shelter, a rescue mission. Maybe you want to write, I know that some people I've spoken to this week, as I've explored this on my own, write cards and letters to our men and women that are deployed overseas in the military. Some of them send gift packages to our men and women who are still deployed overseas.
That stuff is always appreciated. It's always, I'm sure that it brightens their day when they get packages from home, whether they know who's sending them or not.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what I've learned is more often than not, the majority of their mail comes from people that they've never met. Like you're going to count on mail throughout the holiday season from your mom and dad if you're still fortunate enough to have them around, or your immediate family. But to get packages, and sometimes, but it doesn't have to be stuff, right? Sometimes it can just be a card.
Kind words.
Acknowledging.
We're thinking about you.
Yeah, we're thinking about you.
We appreciate what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And over there, too, I mean, depending on where these folks are deployed, it doesn't really have that holiday feeling. We celebrate different things in different places of the world. So they might not have that holiday cheer feel, maybe amongst one another they have it, but it's not an overwhelming, they don't go into the store and it's not Christmas and trees and
the
decorations.
Music's not playing,
right, yeah.
and
there's not snow on the ground,
exactly.
which we don't have too much of anyways.
I know.
Glad about that.
I know, me too. But I just, and so that's another idea. I was talking. Go ahead. No,
sorry.
Please.
So there's, there are things like Toys for Tots, and there are also, people who need hats, gloves,
blankets,
things like that.
The
all
shelters,
year long,
the
but
shelters
especially
need,
this time of
the
year when it
shelters
gets
need
cold.
food items, non-perishable food items. But throughout this process and this reflection on what I can do, we minimize. I think we minimize the little things because we have all of those things.
Right.
And so
the little things for us are big.
Exactly.
Big grand gestures to people who don't have it all. And
so what I've really tried to think about is not minimizing those little things, not taking them for granted, and how can you share those with other people? And so, even locally, for those people that are listening, if you think about the safety, the warmth that you'll have during the holiday season with friends and family, understand that there are police, there are firemen, there are EMS and paramedic crews that will not be able to share that experience with their family because they've chosen a career path where they put others before themselves. And they want to make sure that your holiday season is a safe one and one that is free from any trauma or injury. But we minimize that. We take it for granted. So something as simple as sending a card or letter of thanks to your police department, sending a card or letter of thanks to your fire department, to your paramedics, sending a food tray. These are little things that go a long way, and you'll be amazed at how much not only do they lift the spirits of the guys and gals that are serving for us, but also help lift their spirits, but also what it does for you. And so that's another idea of what you can do.
Yep. And we get a lot of that, at least at my department. We get this week and leading up to Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, even New Year's, and it goes back Thanksgiving and all the other holidays. The community is so great to, take care of us.
Take care
of
you guys,
fashion.
and they should.
Yeah,
and they
it's
should.
Awesome.
The other thing that people can do as we rattle them off here is that remember, if you are a parent or you are an aunt, an uncle, a big brother, a big sister, a grandparent, remember that the children's units in the pediatric units in hospitals all across our area will be filled with kids who will not be home to celebrate the holidays with their family. They will not wake up Christmas morning in their home to see if Santa came and brought them gifts. They don't have that luxury because they're in the hospital fighting with an illness, some of whom are terminal. So imagine the impact you could have by simply walking into a hospital, going to the pediatric floor of a hospital, and giving cards to the nurses' station and thanking them for the work they do with children. Giving cards to the nurses' station and asking those nurses to give a card to every single kid in that hallway. One of the things that I think people think, Bud, is that, well, if I'm going to do something, I have to do it on this grand scale. No, it's about just putting other people's needs before your own, whether it's for 10 minutes, whether it's for an hour, or whether you sacrifice a day of your beautiful life to give to somebody that doesn't have the same good fortune that you have.
We see people, at least I see people all the time on my errands and out in the community that they just look like they could use somebody to talk to. Stop and have a conversation with somebody. Spend a little bit of extra time out of your day. Have a coffee, have a drink, whatever it is.
That's
you know,
right.
just spend time with people. You can spot them across the way. You know, maybe somebody doesn't have family around for the holidays.
And that's another awesome example, too, is that sometimes it's just taking that extra 5 minutes to walk up to somebody that you may have never met around this time of year, especially, just to say what you just shared. And it's amazing how much that renews your spirit, too. And in the world we live in today, with as much chaos as we read and see, the notion that you can just extend a hand and 5 minutes of your time, as we say all the time, yeah, it's the most priceless gift in the world because you never get it back. But it's amazing what it can do for other people, you know? So I guess the premise for us, those of you that are listening, is find something to do that speaks to you that you know may have an impact on the life of somebody else. And I don't want it to be, at least for me, I don't want it to be something that is an extension of the job I have, so it feels like it's something I have to do. But, man, I want you guys to get excited about it. I want you to think about it, and I want it to excite you. I want it to make you go, man, this shit is awesome. Why haven't I been doing this every year around Christmas? Why don't I do it monthly if you have time?
Absolutely.
And I'm guilty of it too. But this time of year, especially in conversations that I've had with kids, in this podcast for me too, and the conversations I have for you guys, with you guys, has just renewed my sense of, you know what, there's so much out there we can do, and you don't need $1 million. You don't need to move mountains, but you really have the opportunity to change somebody's life. So I really hope people do that. I really, really do.
I do too. And, you know, this is any time of the year is a good time to do it, but especially this time of year.
No doubt.
You know, people are going through the holidays for the first time without loved ones that they may have lost over the past few months. It's a particularly tough time of the year for people. Depression rates go up because of the weather outside. It's tough to be around, without family that's close by or that has passed. It's just a tough time of year, but it's also a very blessed time of year. So share your blessings with people who need them, who don't have them. That's
it. Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely dead on. And do it because your heart tells you to do it, and you believe in your heart it's the right thing to do. And you know, so much good will come back to you as well. And there are people, regular people out there doing it every single day without fanfare, without notoriety. The biggest blessing for me that being able to share this time with you has given me is that we have a chance to discuss not just events, but day-to-day living that can send a better message to anybody that might listen. And then the hope, Bud, is that people will take that message, right, and pass it forward and carry it on.
Yep.
So like you said, there's no better time of year to start thinking about doing this. You know, we talk about New Year's resolutions and all of that stuff, and most of the time they're selfish and personal. And they're supposed to be to some degree, so I get that. But how about a resolution to start before the new year, to think about a group or a person that really could use some positivity in their life and a chance to be lifted in a way that they haven't been in a long time. And I really encourage those of you that are listening to our podcast this week, as you approach Christmas weekend or your holiday weekend, Christmas Eve on Sunday and into Christmas Day on Monday, just take a second to reflect.
Absolutely.
And if you can't get out and do something physically, maybe if you travel to church or to synagogue or to whatever your place of worship, to include some of these people in your prayers and in your thoughts, because they need it, and there's plenty of people out there that need it. So I'm looking forward to visiting the rescue mission with my family, and I hope for me, I hope this is something that it ignites a fire in me that makes me want to continue to do it, because I think the best way for me to teach my kids and the best way for me to live this way is to not do it once, is to do it regularly.
Right. And those, that feeling that you get will likely inspire you to do it for years to come. Hopefully the same for your children and those of you out there who feel the urge to do the same. We realize that it's a busy time of year, but we've also got some time off for the holidays. Hopefully you do too. And we encourage you guys to go out there, make a difference, spread some cheer, share your blessings.
Yeah. Even if you, if you love to sing, but you're not that good at it. Everybody loves this time of year, somebody knocking at their front door and singing a Christmas carol. So, actually, Donnie, wow.
John, I would love if you came to my door.
Actually, I wasn't thinking that, actually.
That'd be a great time.
I think maybe a mobile podcast where Donnie knocks on doors and starts singing Christmas carols.
We could record the reactions. I like where you're going with this.
Yeah.
All right, we got to brainstorm this a little bit.
Yeah,
further.
for sure.
Next year. Let's work on that for next year.
But I think the short version for me is give back.
Yeah,
in some way, give back to someone or in a company, a nonprofit, a family, somebody in your life personally that you know needs it.
Yep. Don, any parting messages for our listeners this week?
I guess we've touched on this before. It doesn't cost anything to be nice to people. So
amen.
Even just, it's hectic for all of us. You're, doing last minute gift shopping or whatever, and it's crazy. And, you go into the stores and, I think people's stress is on a higher level.
Sorry, I think
John.
We had an equipment malfunction here in the studio. John's mic is making noises.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Oh my God! I'm so sorry, Donnie. I'm so sorry.
Just don't, folks. If you listen back, you could probably figure out what just happened. Don't spread anything like what John just spread. Listen to his messages from earlier, but.
Oh, God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh, Jesus.
Don, what were you saying? Yes. So, guys, anyways, getting back to it. In the store, be mindful that people are in a rush. Everybody's in a rush this time of year.
People's stress levels are higher.
Yep. People are starting out maybe at a 7 or 8 on the stress level scale instead of a 1 or a 2 for the week,
This is true.
Yeah. Be patient, be kind.
And doesn't cost anything to be nice, John.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right. Be good to those you love. Let them know you love them. As always, thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Have a great
Happy
week,
holidays
everybody.
to all of you. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to the Hashtag Positivity Podcast. Online at hashtagpositivity.org, on Facebook at Hashtag Positivity, and Instagram, the official Hashtag Positivity. If you liked the episode, please rate and review. And remember, positivity is contagious. Sprinkle that magic.